In ordinary, SS an English phrase. Naval Reserve. In naval matters, vessels, in ordinary, are those out of service for repair or maintenance, meaning coming over time to cover a reserve fleet or mothballed ships. The term arose from the development of three separate financial estimates for Royal Navy expenditure: the ordinary estimate, which covered routine expenses such as the maintenance of dockyards and naval establishments; the sea service estimate, which supported ships and crew that are capable of going to sea; and the estimate for extraordinary repair, which met the cost of major rebuilding or refit. A ship that was no longer required for active service, or was too decrepit to remain at sea, would be transferred from the sea service to the ordinary estimate, and would be left in ordinary until return to duty or broken up. Ships could remain in ordinary for lengthy periods, including for example HMS Royal William, which spent 38 years in ordinary between its launch in 1719 and first active service in 1757. Poorly maintained, they were susceptible to dry rot and were routinely crewed by pensioned or disabled sailors with little interest in a return to sea service. During the War of the Austrian Succession from 1739 to 1745, a review of ships in ordinary revealed that at least half of the warrant officers were too old or sickly to serve outside the mothballed vessels. Improvements were made from 1752 when Admiral George Anson, the newly appointed First Lord of the Admiralty, initiated reforms of royal dockyards with the intention of maximizing the number of vessels capable of being put to sea at any time. However, most of Anson's reforms were opposed by the Navy Board, which had direct responsibility for dockyard management and felt that Admiralty's interference was a rebuke to its authority. Admiralty conducted a further review of vessels in ordinary. In 1755, the review identified Plymouth Dockyard as the worst performer in ship maintenance and repair, with some ships untouched since 1745. Plymouth Dockyard's master attendant and clerk of the survey were dismissed, a new dock and slipway constructed, and dock workers and ship's crews were required to work longer hours to ensure the ships held in ordinary were capable of being sailed. To maximize resources, construction of new vessels was also transferred to private shipyards. Lastly, Admiralty successfully petitioned the Privy Council to remove the Royal Navy's surveyor, Joseph Allen, who had held the post for 40 years and was now disordered in his senses. These various efforts were successful in improving the quality of vessels held in ordinary, such that more than 200 ships were in commission capable of being sailed by the end of 1755, compared with 97 in 1753. Royal Navy officers ashore on half-pay were also considered in ordinary, and paid from the same estimate that applied to sideline vessels. Royal Household. In relation particularly to the staff of the British Royal Household, and more generally to those employed by the Crown, it is used as a suffix showing that the appointment is to the regular staff, for example a priest, a chaplain in ordinary, or a physician in ordinary, being a cleric, a doctor in regular attendance. The usage goes back to the 17th century. See for example, category, chaplains in ordinary, category, physicians in ordinary, principal painter in ordinary, Lords of Appeal in ordinary. Bibliography. Bar. Daniel A. British Naval Administration in the Age of Walpole. Princeton University Press. OCLC 729,683,642. Middleton, Richard. Naval Administration in the Age of Pitt and Anson, 1755 to 1763. In Black, Jeremy Woodfine, Philip. The British Navy and the Use of Naval Power in the 18th Century. Leicester University Press. ISBN 0718513088. Dot.